Hi, good afternoon. Hi guys, good afternoon. Okay guys, let's wait for the others bago tayo mag-start. Ayan. Good afternoon guys. Okay guys, let's wait for the others bago tayo mag-start. Alright, good afternoon. Hintayin lang natin yung iba guys. As of now, nasa 20 pa tayo. So, more than 10 pa, hinihintay natin. Okay, sir, kayo po ba ang magbibigay ng grades for midterms? Kit De Guzman, no. Actually, ako binigay ko lang yung grades niyo for laboratory, and then si Ma'am Karen ang magre-release ng mga grades niyo for midterm exam. Yeah. Yes, actually ang binigay ko lang sa kanya is like for example yung mga videos na pinanood ko sa inyo, lahat ng mga nag-comment and nanood ng mga videos, binigyan ko ng points yun for laboratory. And then also yung ginawa ninyo na Ginger House, nagbigay din ako ng points. And also doon nagbigay din ako ng few points doon sa question and answer. Although yung iba nakasagot, yung iba hindi nakasagot. For a big considerations, I give points to all na sa inyong lahat. Parang gano'n. And then I send yung mga grades niyo for laboratory kay Ma'am Karen, and then i-add ni Ma'am Karen yung mga quizzes ninyo plus yung midterm exams ninyo. And then yun, si Ma'am Karen ang magre-release ng grades niyo. And then for the finals, I will be in charge naman. So let's wait for the others. Hindi pa ba binibigay ni Ma'am Karen ng grades ninyo, guys? So hintayin lang natin yung iba, guys, and then let's proceed. Okay guys, binaba ko yung link, yung mga gustong mag-participate sa atin. So kwentuhan lang muna tayo habang hinihintay natin, or if you want to kwentuhan with your classmates, pwede nyo i-click yung link habang naghihintay tayo ng iba pa para makumpleto tayo. And then later, mag-check ako ng attendance, right? If you want to join with me, guys, pwedeng-pwede rin naman. Five more minutes, guys, before we start. Hintayin natin yung iba. Guys, if you want to join with me, pwede rin naman. Chester Mone, if you want to join with me, just click the link. ICL.
I don't wanna be lonely when winter is freezing and trees start to blow. And I don't wanna be sitting alone in a room that's just filled with my soul. And so I came to this place, I'm looking for a familiar face, and I saw you. 'Cause you don't know me and I don't know you, but it breaks my heart. You're looking so blue on the last day here. Picked your name on the card, but as stroke of luck, the guy just messed up and gave your cup to me. And better. I started a year with a drop of romance. Cooking to this place, looking for a familiar face, and that's DE201. So today, we make milk cupcake with buttercream icing. So let's go!
Alright guys, let's remove this
Good
one.
morning guys, I'm Christian D. Malo from DE201. So today, we make milk cupcake.
Alright guys, check muna tayo ng attendance. Again, good afternoon guys. Hi CL, long time no see CL. So check muna tayo ng attendance guys. Kindly please press present for this one. Or maybe I can check, okay, o ganito na lang guys. Okay, kindly please chat present guys for your attendance. So check muna ako ng attendance. Cinderella Francisco, Pauline Ann Guiyang, Chester Mone, Erica, present, Bangkit, Angelo, Garmy. Hi, Kleng Kleng. Gabriel. Ira. Okay, waiting for the others, guys. Justin, Ira, Justin, Carlo, David. Season, Vincent, Ineria, Libutano. Just wait. Okay, while waiting for the others, guys. Okay, did I tell you any activity today, guys? Or ako yung magdi-discuss? Meron ba akong sinabing gagawin natin na actual? Actually, I already checked yung mga videos ninyo. Then, yung iba, pinapanood ko sa inyo kanina yung mga iba-ibang class, cupcakes. As you can see, guys, iba-ibang techniques ang po pwede natin gawin or procedure na po pwede natin gawin or i-apply during the pandemic time. Actually, sobrang hirap. Sobrang hirap. Actually, we don't want to make you we don't want to do some activities during the pandemic time, pero kasi sayang naman yung oras, guys. Alam ko napaka-limited ng mga resources natin, napaka-limited ng wala pa po, sir. Okay. I don't know kung na-discuss na sa inyo ni Ma'am Karen. Actually, I will inform Ma'am Karen about doon sa mga grades niyo, or maybe doon sa sa oras ninyo ng klase ninyo. Maybe by Friday. I don't think so kung kailan ng klase ninyo kay Ma'am Karen. Siguro i-release na niya. Pero I already gave my scores, yung mga scores ninyo kay Ma'am Karen. And then, maybe isi-send. Ang alam ko, wala namang bumagsak, guys. Lahat naman is pasado. So, I don't know kung na-discuss na ni Ma'am Karen yung Module 10. Module 10 is more on the mousses, cream and mousses. So, meron lang akong iba papakita mga shorts videos sa inyo. And then after that, ipapaliwanag ko sa inyo kung ano yung mga cream and mousses na tinatawag natin. And then, by next Monday, we will going to make our own cream mousses or iba-ibang mga glass na mga desserts. So again, hindi ito nire-required ng madami. Ang importante is makapresent tayo ng isa. And then, if you can recycle some of the ingredients na meron kayo sa bahay, is possible. So the reason why I don't give recipes, kasi pag nagbigay ako ng recipe, 100% guys, bibili ninyo yung mga ingredients na nakasulat doon sa recipes. And it will be stressful for you guys na hanapin yon or bilhin yon, especially now ang hirap-hirap kumita ng pera. But if you can make your own recipes regarding doon sa mga, if you can make your own recipes, based doon sa mga recycled materials na gagamitin ninyo or ingredients na gagamitin nyo na meron kayo sa bahay, is very good also. At the same time, we can practice yung ating conversions na tinatawag nila for the baking. Mamaya po after po ng klase natin yung... okay. Maybe later, kung hindi pa na-discuss ni Ma'am Karen yung Module 10, maybe after ng klase natin is i-discuss niya. So, ang next activity natin for next Monday is yung ating cream and mousses. Okay, meron akong mga shorts video muna ipapanood. And then after that, I will give some comments. And then by Monday, guys, gagawa tayo ng mga activity live. So, gagawa na naman tayo ng mga kanya-kanya nating activity. Then, after ninyong nagawa yon, actually, gagawin natin siya ng actual sa Monday. So, individual pa rin, guys. So, ang inihingi ko lang na favor is kung ano lang yung mga available na ingredients sa bahay. Kailangan i-recycle. Walang maling ingredients, walang maling recipes, walang maling finished product at this very moment. Alright? Ang importante, guys, is meron tayong nape-perform. At the same time, maybe we can learn a lot of things coming from scratches na mga recipes. So guys, this one is a chocolate mousse na recipe. So
may masarap na naghihintay, nagpapasaya at nagbibigay ligaya. Kaya walang masasarap pa.
We can't manage work like this. That's why I use Monday.com. My team uses it to manage projects, sales, recruit.
Okay, this one is chocolate mousse, guys. Let's watch it first. And then later, magbibigay ako ng...
Jem, I don't know. I think this might be better than Magnolia Bakeries. I think so.
Bible Bakers, a banana pudding is a classic American dessert and has everything that I love. It has layers of banana, cream, wafers, pudding, all sorts of yummy stuff. I am going to show you how you can make it completely from scratch. So no matter where you are in the world, you can make it too. And as you can hear, we have baby George and Kevin over here in the corner.
We're here for moral support.
He's here for the dessert. I don't know who you're kidding. And then, of course, Zach is behind the camera, and we're delighted to have him back. Okay, so let's get started with this dessert. Here I have a heavy bottom saucepan. And into this, I'm going to add in my milk. Now, I use full fat milk for this because fat is flavor. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of cream. So now for this cream, you don't have to use heavy whipping cream. You can use any cream that you want because you don't have to whip this. So whatever cream you have to hand. Now we're going to put this over on the stove on a medium heat, kind of medium low-ish, and just let that slowly come to a simmer. And then back over here, we're going to get our eggs ready. So here I have 3 eggs. We're going to do 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks. Now it really helps if these are at room temperature because we're going to be adding in hot liquid and you want to make sure they're the same temperature. And as always, this is my baker's tip, make sure that you keep your egg whites. I keep them in the freezer and then you defrost them and you whip them up as good as new. I keep them from meringue and they're really good. So into our eggs, we're going to add in some sugar. So here's a fun fact, when sugar and eggs meet, they can actually start to cook. So what you want to do is whisk them up straight away so you don't get any kind of cooked egg lumps in there. So just give it a little whisk. Lovely. And then into this, you're going to add in cornstarch or corn flour. Now this is what thickens our pudding.
Sinong mag-aakalang I could find love at this time?
The good thing about cornstarch is that it's gluten-free, so it keeps your pudding gluten-free. And then just whisk all these ingredients together. So now this pudding is a custard base. So unfortunately for this recipe, you can't leave out the eggs because they are what thickens it and make it nice and rich too. Okay, so let's go check on our milk because I think it's almost done. There you go. It almost comes to a simmer. Look at this. Check this out, Zach. You see the way it kind of forms a skin? You do not want this mix to boil. We're going to add a little bit into our eggs. And then we're going to whisk this up. By adding the hot mix to the eggs, you're making the mix the same temperature and you're not shocking the eggs. There we go. Lovely. And then what you want to do is just add it straight back in there. This is called tempering, and I have tips about this on my website. Here we go. Now, Zach, back over to the heat. And we're going to put this on medium-low heat. You want to be careful here. And we are going to stand here and give it a whisk every so often and just wait for it to thicken. It will take around 6 to 8 minutes or so. Just don't crank up that heat and think it's going to go faster. You want to kind of do it low and slow. So pudding in Ireland is generally like a sponge cake or some sort of a cake, whereas in America, pudding is different textures. And it's just absolutely right up my alley. So you can see already the cornstarch is starting to work and our pudding is getting really thick. One thing you want to make sure is here, you don't let it boil because we never let a mix like this boil. It'll damage the milk and cream. So there you go. It only takes a few minutes. It's gotten nice and thick. This is gorgeous. Now I'm going to move it over here to my countertop. So this is nice and thick, but just so you know, when it cools down, it actually gets even thicker. So it's going to be lovely and thick. So into this, I add in a few more things just to make this really special and kind of elevate it from just a regular vanilla pudding. I add in a little bit of butter at the very end, which makes it kind of smooth and kind of gives it a silky flavor and texture. I add in a little bit of my homemade vanilla extract. And then, of course, this is super important, so don't leave it out, salt. It just makes all those flavors in there like sing. And then just whisk those in.
So Gemma, how does your banana pudding compare to the famous Magnolia Bakeries?
Well, Magnolia's is delicious, I'll give you that. But mine is a little bit different. I have a few little twists, and then also I have some secret ingredients that you're going to have to stay tuned for. And then once you make it, you can be the judge of that. There we go. Now, the very last step we want to do is something that I think is really important. I have a bowl here lined with a sieve. Pass it through the sieve. Now, when you make custards, ice cream bases, creme patisserie, things like that, you pass it through a sieve to make sure that there's no lumps, and it just gives you a really smooth finish. There we go. Just in case there's any little lumps from the egg or from the cornstarch. Don't forget that bit underneath the sieve. Gorgeous. Lovely. Oh my gosh, this smells delicious. I'm going to try not to eat it all now. Oh gosh, I just got a nice bit of salt. So here's what we're going to do. Set this over to the side at room temperature, let it cool down fully. It's going to thicken, and then we can assemble our dessert. So my vanilla pudding has cooled down, and as you can see, it has thickened up. So you can eat this as is, as a vanilla pudding. It's super delicious, a little bit of cream on top, but we are going to make our banana puddings. So I have my pudding. I have whipped cream right here. I've got sliced bananas. Now check this out. Nilla wafers. And there's something very special about these.
Gemma, aren't those homemade?
So these are homemade. Yes, Kevin. Homemade Nilla wafers. They're absolutely delicious, almost better than store-bought. And it's going to make your banana pudding taste the exact same, just like the classic. So that recipe, just so you know, is on my website. Super easy to make. Now let's talk assembly. What I'm going to do is kind of go for like a nice pretty presentation. I have 2 wine glasses there. You can do them in jars. You can do them whatever you like. I'm going to put my cream and my pudding into piping bags. So I'm putting them in piping bags so I can make really clean presentation, but you can always feel free to just scoop it into your glasses. So this recipe will make you a lot of puddings. I'm just going to make 2 for right now. So into my glass, I'm going to put a thick layer of our vanilla pudding mix, then a layer of crushed Nilla wafers, some cream, and a thick layer of bananas. And then what you do is just build up as many layers as you like. But each layer is a different texture, flavor. Some are sweet, some are creamy, some are crunchy, some are smooth. Gorgeous. Okay, Kevin, come here to me.
Okay.
Do you want me to help you out?
Yeah, maybe. I've got my
that?
hands full.
Kevin is equally as fan of banana pudding as I am. Did you get all the layers? Did you get down there?
I love the homemade Nilla wafers
Yep. That's
and
where
that
it's at.
pudding. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. And the bananas are just bonkers.
Oh, yummy. And the big cream.
All right, guys. Okay, ang gagawin natin, I mean, ang next module ninyo is more on mousses and pudding. So, yung una nakita ninyo is yung paggawa ng mga cream. Isa sa mga suggestions na po pwede kong ma-consider sa inyo. Actually, ang ginagamit talaga doon is heavy cream, pero mas mahal kasi ang heavy cream kumpara sa Nestle cream. I mean, you can buy a Nestle cream, a small pack of Nestle cream for about 50 pesos or more than 50 pesos, parang ganon. So, ito lang guys, ang pinaka tatandaan ninyo sa paggawa ng mga cream or mousses. Okay, lahat yan is piniprepare siya sa mga baso. Dapat nasa baso siya. And then, or nasa mga shot glass. I mean, kung nasa mga buffet kayo or sa mga, pupunta kayo sa mga restaurants buffet, makikita mo yung mga mousses nila nasa mga shot glass lang. Maliliit na shot glass. Kasi it's good only for bite size lang siya. Pero like for example, if you prepared for mousses and cream sa bahay for special occasions, like for example, Christmas or birthday, or any special occasions na meron kayo sa bahay, you can prepare the same size dun sa last video na pinanood ninyo, dun sa mga wine glass or margarita glass, ganyan. Normally, napakaganda niya na nakikita kapag nasa mga margarita glass sila kasi napaka-sexy, napaka-smooth, napaka-delight ng mga textures na po pwede mong gawin. You may use fresh fruits pagdating sa mga cream and mousses. Pwede kayong gumamit ng mga vanilla, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga chocolate, or pwede kayong gumamit ng mga melted chocolate, or you can recycle yung mga iba-ibang tinapay na meron kayo sa bahay. Kung nakita niyo kanina is gumamit siya ng mga biscuit na bilog-bilog or cookies na bilog-bilog, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga toasted na mga breads. Kung meron kayong mga leftover na mga tinapay sa bahay, pwede kayo. Or you can find some breads coming from pianono sa mga bakery malapit sa inyo. Pwede kayong bumili kahit isang piraso or 2 pirasong pianono. You can buy vanilla pianono, ube pianono, or pandan pianono, or chocolate pianono, depende doon sa gusto ninyo na layer ng chocolate, ng mga mousses ninyo. Okay. Famous mousses is more on the chocolate itself. Nakilala ang mga mousses is more on the chocolate na flavor niya. So, hindi siya matigas, hindi rin siya sobrang lambot, pero tamang-tama lang yung texture niya. Because it's combinations of cream and a chocolate, parang ganun siya. So, madalas ginagamit nila is heavy cream kasi ang heavy cream napakabilis mag-set. I mean, what I'm talking about is from liquid nagiging mas creamy siya. So, paano mo malalaman na kapag ang cream mo is perfectly whipped na? So, makikita mo doon sa mismong wire whisk mo, guys. Makikita mo, normally kapag nagwi-whisk ka, then inangat mo siyang ganyan, makikita mo kapag yung natira na whipping cream doon sa mismong wire whisk mo, makikita mo kapag bumaloktot siya, nahulog siya na ganun, ibig sabihin malambot pa yung consistency ng whipping cream mo. And possible na babagsak at mawawala yung original na texture nun. So ang need na kailangan mong gawin doon is i-whip ulit yung mismong whipping cream or heavy cream ninyo. And then, paano mo malalaman naman kapag yung heavy cream mo is perfectly well done na siya? So again, assuming ito yung wire whisk mo, and then, makikita mo after mong inangat doon sa mixing bowl yung wire whisk mo, makikita mo yung natirang whipping cream dito mismo sa wire whisk mo, hindi na siya bumabaluktot or hindi na nahuhulog. Consistent, diretso yung natirang whipping cream na ganyan. Makikita mo patusok. Normally, patusok ang nangyayari doon. Makikita mo, diretso na siya. Ibig sabihin, tamang-tama na yung pagkaka-whip mo ng whipping cream. So, yun lang ang ano. And then, like for example, nakapag-whip ka na, chocolate mousse is more on, ginagawa yan like for example, nakapag-whip ka na ng whipping cream, and then naglagay ka ng granulated sugar for the balances of the taste. And then, pwede kang mag-melt ng konting chocolate, guys. Konting chocolate. And then, kapag na-melt na yung konting chocolate mo, pwede kang mag-add ng konting cream doon para ma-balance lang at hindi na tumigas ulit yung melted chocolate mo. And then, make it a point na bago mo ihalo doon sa whipping cream mo na na-wire whisk mo na or na hand mixer mo na, yung chocolate mo is malamig na siya at hindi siya dapat matigas. Or else guys, yung whipping cream mo na nakaset na ginamitan mo ng stand mixer or ng wire whisk, babagsak yung texture niyan. It's because of the contribution ng chocolate mo na mainit na texture. So make sure, halimbawa, nag-double boiler kayo ng chocolate bar or any form of chocolate. Pwede kayong bumili ng mga chocolate na mumurahin lang sa tindahan. Yes, chocolate mousse is mousses is iba-iba ang flavor niyan. What I'm talking about right now is, Rafael, is yung original na text o yung original na recipe ng chocolate mousse. Okay, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga chocolate sa bahay na nakikita ninyo or sa mga tindahan or local chocolate coming from palengke or sa mga stores. Basta kung ano yung pinakamura lang and then i-melt lang ninyo. And make it a point na maglalagay kayo ng konting cream para hindi na siya tumigas ulit. And then kapag malamig yon and then na-set mo na yung whipping cream mo, pwede mo ngayon ilagay yung mismong chocolate melted mo with cream doon and then i-whisk mo siya ulit and then magiging siyang chocolate mousse. Kung wala naman kayong ibang way para makabili ng chocolate or makahanap ng chocolate, pwede kayo ulit gumamit ng Milo or Ovaltine. So yung Ovaltine or Milo powder mo is ihalo mo lang siya doon sa whipping cream mo and then i-whip mo lang siya. And then meron ka ng chocolate mousse. Okay. Katulad ng sinasabi ni Rafael Rueda, pwede kayong gumamit o gumawa ng iba-ibang flavor. Katulad nung kanina, it's a banana pudding. Pero ang totoo nun, it's mousse siya. Any form of something na nilalagay mo sa baso, especially kapag nilagay mo sa mga cocktail glass or sa mga champagne glass, is a part of mousses family. Parang ganun. Sa mga mousses mo is pwede kang gumamit ng mga iba-ibang klaseng fresh fruits. Again guys, hindi ko nire-record na bumili kayo ng mga mamahaling fruits. Kung ano lang yung available na fruits na po pwede ninyong gamitin. And another thing, sa pagbuo ng mousses mo, kailangan you have to be creative. Kailangan hindi lahat ng colors na ilalagay mo doon sa mousses mo is very plain. Kailangan there is something color na magbe-break doon sa mismong mousses mo. Like for example, gagawa ka ng chocolate mousses. Bumili ka ng pianono or bumili ka ng mamon na chocolate. Tapos gumawa ka ng cream na chocolate or ng Ovaltine. Tapos nag-layer ka. Yung pinaka-top niya, pwede mo yan i-sift ng gumamit ka ng sifter or ng strainer. Then pwede kang maglagay ng Milo doon sa taas and then pwede mo siyang isip doon sa taas. Pero ang mangyayari lang dito guys, yung chocolate mousse mo is very dark. Lahat ng layering niya is pare-parehas ang kulay niya. So, hanap kayo ngayon or mag-isip kayo ngayon ng pwedeng mag-break doon sa chocolate cake ninyo, chocolate mousse ninyo. Again, I am talking about doon sa mga recycled ingredients ng chocolate mousse guys ha. So, ulitin ko lang, like for example, bumili ka ng mamon or pianono na chocolate. So, that is dark color. Ngayon, gusto mo yung cream mo or yung cream base mo is meron din siyang chocolate. So, nag-cream ka rin. From cream at saka Milo, pinaghalo mo and then na-set na siya, malamig na siya and then naging matigas na ng konti. And then nag-layer ka na. Naglagay ka ng tinapay, naglagay ka ng cream, naglagay ka ng tinapay, naglagay ka ng cream. Pwede kayong maglagay guys ng mga nuts in between or pwede kayong maglagay ng chocolate chips. Kung dark yung chocolate, kung chocolate yung mamon mo and then chocolate din yung cream mo, pwede kayong maglagay ng mga chocolate chips ng kulay white. And then instead of isisip mo siya ng Milo or ng Ovaltine doon sa pinaka-top niya as your garnish, pwede kayong maglagay naman is powdered sugar. Pwede naman ninyong isip ng powdered sugar, yung taas niya, para ma-break yung dark color ng chocolate mousse ninyo. And then, if you have some colorful na mga fruits, like for example, meron kang, it's very perfect kung ang ilalagay mo is strawberry or cherry. Kasi cherry is a red at saka strawberry very red. So makikita mo, mabibreak yung color ng mga, mabibreak yung color ng darkness ng chocolate mousse mo. Ngayon, sure, paano kami bibili ng heavy cream? Sobrang mahal ng heavy cream. And then, minsan, nabibili mo yan 1 litro niya. So, hindi mo kailangan gumamit ng heavy cream, guys. Pwede kang gumamit ng Nestle cream. Yung pinakamaliit na pakete ng Nestle cream. Ang kailangan mo lang gawin ngayon is i-chilled mo siya. I-chiller mo siya or ilagay mo siya sa ref. Huwag sa freezer, guys. No? Kasi kapag nilagay mo sa freezer yan, titigas yan. And then kapag lumamig siya or nag-melt yung Nestle cream, ihiwalay yung cream at saka yung water. So hindi mo na yan po pwedeng gamitin as heavy cream or replacement ng heavy cream mo. So uulitin ko lang. So meron kang Nestle cream, kailangan i-chilled mo siya. Kung kailangan i-chilled mo siya ng ilang araw para mas malamig na malamig yung texture niya. And then after that, pwede ka rin maglagay ng mixing bowl. Yung mixing bowl na gagamitin niyo, kailangan is stainless siya or at least parang metal ang mixing bowl niyo kasi mas mabilis lumamig ang mixing bowl na stainless kumpara sa plastic. So again, yung Nestle cream mo is ipapasok mo siya sa chiller. For how many days is very good. Mas maganda kung mas matagal siya nasa loob ng chiller para mas malamig na malamig siya. Pero avoiding putting it sa freezer. Dapat nasa ref lang or sa chiller part ng ref ninyo. Okay, next. And then after that, yung mixing bowl ninyo na stainless, ilagay nyo rin sa freezer naman. Kung kaya nyo ilagay sa freezer guys na malamig siya. As in, malamig na malamig yung stainless bowl mo. And then, kapag magmi-mix ka na, pag magmi-mix ka na or mag-creaming method ka na, gamit yung chilled mo na Nestle cream, doon mo ngayon ilalagay doon sa mixing bowl mo na nilagay mo doon sa freezer. Reason why, bakit ko pinapa-chilled yung Nestle cream? Kasi kapag naka-chilled yung Nestle cream, mas malapot yung texture niya. Hindi siya malabnaw. Man malamig yung mixing bowl mo guys, hindi magbababa yung temperature ng Nestle cream mo na chilled mo. Instead, tataas pa yung temperature ng coldness niya. And then another thing, mas mabilis siyang mag-set or mas mabilis siyang maging cream or matigas yung texture ng pagiging cream niya kapag malamig yung nasa mixing bowl mo. Another technique guys, so na-chilled mo yung whipping cream mo and then nalagay mo sa freezer yung mixing bowl mo and then pwede ka ulit gumamit ng isang mas malaking mixing bowl kumpara doon sa, like for example, ang mixing bowl na ginamit mo na nilagay mo sa freezer is size 6 na mixing bowl. And then pwede kang gumamit ng mas malaking mixing bowl na pwede mo rin ilagay sa chiller or sa freezer. Parehas na malamig yan. And then after that, pwede kang mag-crack ng mga yelo, maliliit na yelo. And then, ilagay mo dun sa mas malaking mixing bowl. Tapos, lagyan mo ng konting tubig. Kung yung tubig na ilalagay mo is malamig din, much better. And then, ipapatong mo ngayon yung size 6 na mixing bowl na maliit na galing sa freezer. Ngayon guys, ang kagandahan nito guys, malamig na yung mixing bowl mo, yung dalawang mixing bowl mo, meron ka pa ring support na yelo doon sa ilalim. Pag pinatong mo yung size 6 na mixing bowl mo guys, hindi yan lalamig, hindi yan iinit kasi nga meron siyang yelo, na meron nakababad yung pinakapuwit ng mixing bowl mo doon sa yelo na may tubig. And then, ilagay mo ngayon yung mixing bowl, ilagay mo ngayon yung whipping cream mo doon sa mixing bowl mo na size 6 and then start to whip using a wire whisk or hand mixer guys. Ngayon, ang kagandahan nito guys, napakabilis niyang mag-set kasi nga malamig yung temperature na na-absorb niya. Malamig na yung whipping cream, malamig na yung mixing bowl na pinaglagyan mo, at the same time, naka-steam bath pa siya ng cold na malaking mixing bowl. So, ang mangyayari nito guys, mas mabilis siyang magiging cream. And then, wag na wag kayong maglalagay ng asukal guys na hindi pa nasiset ang whipping cream ninyo. Or else, magiging mabigat ito at magiging mas matagal yung pagsiset mo ng whipping cream mo para maging whipping cream heavy siya. Dapat, pwede ka mag-add ng granulated sugar once na yung cream mo is nagsiset na siya or tumitigas na. Ibig sabihin, para siyang ice cream na, nagiging parang ice cream na. Then, doon ka pwedeng maglagay ng konti-konti na granulated sugar. And then, make sure na magme-melt siya. Then, start to whip or hand mixer, pwede nyong gamitin ng hand mixer. Mas maganda kung meron kang hand mixer. For about 2, 3, or 5 minutes, guys, masiset mo yung cream mo for that one. And then another thing guys, meron dati sa akin nagtanong if possible is powdered sugar instead of regular sugar. I don't advise na powdered sugar kasi ang powdered sugar is nagiging water siya once na nilagay mo siya doon. So mas bibigat yung texture nung whipping cream mo. So again guys, uulitin ko, once na maglalagay ka ng granulated sugar, ibig sabihin ng granulated sugar, yung mga maliliit na butil na asukal, white sugar. And then, bago ka maglagay ng granulated sugar doon sa Nestle cream mo, make sure na matigas na parang ice cream na yung whipping cream mo or yung Nestle cream mo bago ka maglagay ng asukal. Or else guys, mahihirapan kang mag-whip at saka mahihirapan umangat yung Nestle cream mo kasi nga mabigat yung texture ng asukal. So start putting a sugar once na set na yung texture nung Nestle cream mo. It's like a ice cream. Parang ice cream na siya. Again, kapag kinuha mo doon sa tinidor mo kapag kumuha ka ng sample sa kutsara or tinidor or doon sa wire whisk mo, yung pinaka-edge na natira, hindi na siya nababali or hindi na nahuhulog na ganon. Ibig sabihin, pagkaangat mo ng mixing wire whisk mo, yung natira na icing doon, hindi na siya bumabaluktot. Instead, diretso lang siya. Ibig sabihin, perfectly well done yung pag-whisk ninyo ng whipping cream. And then guys, like for example, if you want to put some flavor, like for example, naging parang icing na, naging parang ice cream na or icing na yung Nestle cream mo. If you want to put some flavor, pwede kayong maglagay ng flavor. Like for example, gusto mong gawin siyang gusto mo siyang maglasa na parang coffee. So, from coffee, pwede kayong maglagay kumuha kayo ng konting coffee, yung puro lang, hindi yung 3-in-1 guys. Yung purong coffee, and then maglagay ka lang, tunawin mo lang siya sa konting tubig, and then pwede kang mag-add ng drop doon sa mismong heavy cream mo or doon sa creaming procedure na ginawa mo doon sa Nestle cream. And then start to mix. So makikita mo naman yon, maglalasa siya. So depende doon sa dami ang gusto mo. Or if you want to add naman ng mango flavor, pwede kayong bumili ng McCormick na mango flavor, and then pwede kang mag-drop ng few liquids nun, and then start to whip. Pwede yun. And then, ang gagawin mo kapag mango yan, guys, definitely, meron kang mango slice. So, pwede kang bumili ng pianono. Pianono is yung parang mamon na nakaroll. Minsan mabibili mo yun 7 pesos sa mga store. You can make two mousses na pag sa isang pianono. And then, pwede kang bumili nun, vanilla flavor na pianono. Kung mango ang gagawin mo na mousse. And then, after that, ilagay mo yung pianono mo, then pwede kang maglagay ng nuts, then yung cream mo, ilagay mo, and then maglagay ka ng slice na mango, and then pianono ulit, and then cream, and then bahala kayo basta dun sa layering niya. And then after that, pwede kang maglagay ng mint na dahon mint na dahon, pinaka-garnish lang dun sa top, just to break yung yellowish color ng mango mo. Then, pwede kang gumawa ng flower ng mango, then add some mint leaves, pwede naman yun. Or, if you want to make some pandan mousses, pwede rin naman guys. Pwede kang maglagay ng, kung meron kayong pandan leaves sa bahay, pwede kayong kunin yung pandan extract niya, pwede naman yun. So, you may use yung creativity mo. Anything na po pwede mong ilagay sa baso is possible. Pwede siya. Basta meron kang creaming method procedure is pwede mo siyang tawagin na mousse. Kagaya na pinanood ko kanina sa inyo, ang iba naman guys is more on lang siya, cream. Like for example, meron kang mga shot glass. Magki-cream ka lang, gumamit ka ng Ovaltine or ng Milo, then naging para siyang chocolate. And then, pwede mo siyang lagyan ng gelatin on top. Gumawa ka ng gelatin, and then, like for example, nilagay mo na yung mousse mo o yung cream mo doon sa baso, and then parang meron siyang glass on top, buhusan mo lang siya ng konting gelatin on top, and then hayaan mo lang matuyo yung gelatin, and then put it inside the chiller. Maganda na siya. Make sure lang sa paglalagay ninyo ng cream at saka ng mga ibang flavor ninyo, lagi kayong gagamit ng plastic or ng piping bag para hindi magsablay-sablay doon sa mismong baso ninyo. Kasi once na sumablay yung mga cream doon sa baso ninyo, kahit punasan pa ninyo ng tissue yan guys, medyo malabo na yung kulay ng glass ninyo. Kaya make sure na maganda yung pagkakapay niya. And then, once na naglagay ka ng cream using a piping bag, huwag mo nang ihalo yan ng kutsara or ng tunidor or ng toothpick. Kasi guys, masisira yung kulay ng glass. So, pagkapatong mo na ganun, perfect siya or hindi siya perfect, wala ka nang magagawa. Huwag mo nang aluhin yun. Basta ang paggawa ng mousse, layering lang siya. Hindi siya inahalo. Patong-patong lang yung nilalagay mo doon sa mga layering mo. Kapag kasi yung cream mo nilagay mo sa baso, nakita mo hindi siya pantay, wala naman sa ano yan guys, hindi kailangan pantay siya or something. Ang importante, nakikita mo doon sa baso na gagamitin mo, yung layer ng mga ingredients na nilagay mo. So wag mo nga haluin guys kasi magiging malabo yung kulay ng glass ninyo. Basta kung paano mo
yung cream mo or yung mga ingredients mo dun sa baso as it is na siya, and then put something. Ang isang bilin ko lang, always break the colors. Always break the colors ng mousse ninyo. Hindi ka pwedeng, actually possible naman yun. Like for example, yung mga dark mousses, pwede rin naman yun, and then ginagamitan nila. Pero make sure, for me mas maganda kasing tingnan once na lagi mong binibreak yung original text, original color ng mga ng mga desserts mo. Something na maglalagay ka ng isang kulay na it will break the color para maging eye appealing siya. Mas magandang tignan sa mata. So parang ganun lang. But again guys, kung ano lang yung available ingredients na meron kayo sa bahay. You can recycle. Or like for example, meron kang mga kapitbahay na kaklase mo, you can share together yung mga ingredients, or pwede kang humingi sa kanya, or pwede mong ipagpalit ng konti, or maybe sa mga kapitbahay ninyo if you have, no? So tingnan pa natin yung ibang mga mousses.
Taste the 100% beefy sarap in every bite. Jollibee Yumber starts at 35.
Okay, let's watch this one first, guys. Ito yung sinasabi ko, guys, na nag-melt siya ng chocolate. Ayan. Or pwede kayong gumamit, guys, ng that is a chocolate mousse na pinakita kanina, guys. Ayan, pwede kayong gumamit ng mga ice cream glass, pero much better kapag clear yung baso ninyo. Alright? Okay, let's watch more. Para magkaroon. Or pwede kayong gumamit ng cookies, Oreo. Oreo cookies na mousse. Pwede naman yun. Pwede kayong gumamit ng ganun. Or hanap tayo ng this one. So this one is cookie cream mousses. Okay, papakita ko sa inyo, guys. that is the chocolate mousse. This one is a layering, guys. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong layer. It's important yung color combinations, yung pag-mix mo ng mga kulay. It's really important, guys. This one is using a clear glass. Alright. So, tingnan muna natin. Ayan guys, no? Pero ako, I suggest, no, hindi natin kailangan punuin masyado yung...
Let's do the live boy.
Yes! Basta basahin muna natin yung mga ibang comment. Actually guys, ako hindi ko masyado nire-required na punuin yung baso. Kasi parang hindi na siya masyadong cute. Ako ang mas okay pa sa akin is yung at least meron natitirang ganyan na space doon sa taas ng glass. Kailangan nasa ilalim lang yung laman. Para at least, just in case na ibabiyahe mo yung mga mousse, pwede mo silang pagpatong-patungin. Pwede po bang ibang flavor except for chocolate? Yes, pwede yun, no? Nabanggit ko na. Big help po, thank you. Noted. Okay. Sir, pwede po bang Nutella? Yes, pwede ang Nutella. Pwede ang Nutella. Actually, guys, ang Nutella is pwede mo siyang gawing mas matigas. All you need to do is ilagay mo lang yung Nutella sa mga silicone molder, and then pwede mo siyang ilagay sa freezer, and then titigas siya. I remember during my time na nagtatrabaho ako sa barko is gumagawa ako ng Nutella donut. So, ang ginagawa ko is nilalagay ko yung Nutella doon sa mga silicone na bilog-bilog. Then, nilalagay sa freezer. And then after that, pag matigas na siya guys, ipapalaman ko siya doon sa mismong donut. Tapos, yung donut naman is ipa-fried ko siya. And then, makikita mo, pag kinain mo, nagme-melt yung Nutella. Parang ganun siya. Pwede naman. Pwede ang Pudgy Bar. Yes, pwede ang Pudgy Bar. Actually, katulad na nabanggit ko sa inyo, if pwede kang gumamit ng mga ready-made na mga tinapay. Pwede ang Pudgy Bar. Yes, so Sheena, yung layering ng mga mousses is depende sa inyo. Kaya kung gusto mong mas madami yung layer niya, ang gagawin mo is manipis lang per layering ang gagawin mo. And make it a point guys, ito lang ang bilin ko, wag ninyong dudumihan yung baso. So, ang gagawin ngayon natin is for next Monday is gagawin natin siyang actual. So, lahat kayo is magpe-perform, but I need a documentation. So, i-video ninyo kung paano siya kung paano niya siya ginawa. And then, pwede kayong gumamit ng pang-edit. Same doon sa paggawa ninyo ng cupcakes. And then, isi-send ulit sa GC. So, yun lang ang isang request ko. Pero gagawin natin siya sa Friday. So, I'm asking sana na favor guys na kung pwede is kung, like for example, yung mga ini-invite ko, nag-share ako ng link, pwede kayong umakyat para makita ko kung ano yung proseso ng paggawa ninyo. Alright? So, that is for next Monday. So, pwede kayong umakyat para makita natin. And then, pwede kayong like for example, it's para kayong nasa, I don't know kung nag-practice teaching na kayo, no? Pero this one is a good example, guys. At this very moment, ito yung pinakamagandang practice ng practice teaching. Katulad ng ginawa namin last Friday sa mga PE 203. So, nagde-demo sila. Ang kagandahan nito, once na, like for example, gagawin mo na yung procedure, para kang nagde-demo teaching. Di ba, doon sa mga final demo ninyo, merong mga teachers na nanonood sa inyo for your evaluation. So this one is really good example. Pwede niyo siyang gawin na sample ng demo teaching ninyo soon. So kunwari, nagde-demo ka. Pag nagde-demo ka, hindi kailangan ako yung kinakausap mo. It's parang ikaw mismo yung teacher na explain kung ano yung mga ingredients and then procedure na ginagawa mo, parang ganun siya. So it's really important and it helps guys. It helps your communication skills to develop at saka yung confidence inyo para mas ma-develop siya as a teacher. Kasi hindi naman pwede ganito na even kapag nagturo ka na is lagi kang nakatago. Kaya naging teacher ka, you have to practice yourself na lagi kang na-expose. Laging na-expose yung communication skills niyo. That's why I keep asking a question lagi sa inyo. Yun nga lang, tinatamad kayo na magsalita or magtanong lagi. And then, tinatamad kayo lagi na umakyat. Hindi nyo alam, guys, ito yung practice natin. Ito na yung way, ito na yung pinaka-best practice para ma-develop yung communication skills ninyo. And then, yung presence ninyo to get more audience and attentions ng mga audience. Parang ganun. Alright, so let's move on. Again, if you have more questions, don't forget to chat. Pwede niyo i-chat lahat yan para masagot natin ng mabuti. Alright? So, ang ipapanood ko sa inyo guys is maybe this one first. Alright? This one first. smoothness, guys. Caramel dessert. Yung normally makikita mo yan sa mga buffet restaurants.
Bakit ako nagmumotor? Nagmumotor ako para harapin ang kahit anong hamon. Nagmumotor ako para maramdaman ang lakas. Nagmumotor ako para tumulong sa nangangailangan. Para sa kumpletong proteksyon sa iyong motor.
I'm proud to be a strong woman. Ganito ako pinalaki ng dad ko.
Alright? This one naman, guys. Check out this one. Ito, gumamit siya nung yung mga pang-ice cream.
Oi, meus amores, eu sou a Fran e você está no canal Flor de Farinha. Vamos aprender hoje o famoso copo da felicidade. E tudo que rola de novo na confeitaria, nós sempre apresentamos para vocês aqui no canal Flor.
Then, pwede kayong maglagay ng mga toppings, guys. Like, for example, yung mga biscuits na may mga coated na chocolate, mga pretzels, yan. Pwede kayong mag-toppings ng mga ganon. Or yung mga pretzels na merong strawberry flavor, may chocolate, may cream. Pwede yun, guys. Pwede yung i-toppings. Or pwede kayong mag-toppings ng mga mallows. Yung mga mallows na maliliit na minsan nakakabili kayo ng 5 piso na isang balot na maliit. Then pwede nyo i-garnish yun or pwede nyo i-toppings. Or yung mga candies na mga chewable, pwede yan. So, let's continue watching this one. Itong ginamit niya, mga baso lang na pang ice cream. Yung mga mumurahin lang. Kung wala kayong mga clear glass or shot glass. No? Again, guys, hindi ko nire-record na marami. You can make 1 piece, pwede siya.
De farinha. E o que tem de gente ganhando dinheiro com esses copos é demais. E eu vou ensinar dando alternativas de ingredientes com custo baixo para vocês. E quando olhamos, nós vemos vários ingredientes num único copo. E isso é possível fazendo receitas fáceis e simplificadas que eu vou ensinar agora para você. Você não vai gastar tanto tempo na cozinha quanto imagina. Gente, meu sonho é ver um dos meus vídeos no em alta do YouTube e eu só posso fazer isso se você me ajudar. Então eu conto com você. Vamos então viralizar esse vídeo para ajudar o canal a bater a marca de 500 mil inscritos. Eu conto com vocês para dar like e compartilhar. Então facilite a sua vida fazendo o recheio básico que eu vou te ensinar agora. E assim você vai economizar dinheiro, tempo na cozinha e louça para lavar. Vamos começar então colocando 500 ml de leite na panela. 3 colheres de sopa de amido de milho, mistura para dissolver, 3 caixinhas de leite condensado e mistura até engrossar. Quando engrossar e chegar nesse ponto aqui, precisa cozinhar por mais 3 minutos.
Sa New Globe Surf for All 99, ang 9 gig mo,
Kaya pang phone?
pang Wi-Fi. Pang Wi-Fi.
Shareable up to 4 devices.
Surf for All 99,
Agora, com o fogo desligado, nós vamos adicionar uma caixinha de creme de leite. E fica esse brigadeiro cremoso, lisinho e brilhante. E com essa base, nós vamos fazer 4 recheios. Divide inicialmente em 3 recipientes. O brigadeiro deve estar quente ainda, tá, pessoal? No primeiro, nós vamos adicionar 150 gramas de chocolate meio amargo. Eu estou usando 40% da Hershey's. Pode colocar chocolate em pó também, se você quiser deixar o custo mais baixo. Se for substituir, então, use pelo menos 3 colheres de sopa de chocolate 50%. Recheio prontinho, cremoso, brilhante e delicioso. Leva para a geladeira para esfriar. No meu segundo recheio, eu usei o chocolate laca picadinho. E preciso deixar bem picado, porque o chocolate branco ele tem mais dificuldade para derreter. E se você quiser deixar o custo desse recheio um pouquinho mais baixo, compre o chocolate em pó Galac, que é maravilhoso e pode usar 4 colheres de sopa. Mas mesmo colocando chocolate como eu, você terá um bom lucro e a qualidade do seu produto será superior. No último recheio, eu vou colocar 4 colheres de sopa de leite ninho. E prontinho! Esse último recheio de leite ninho vai servir para fazer outra base deliciosa. Por isso, eu bati 300 ml de chantilly e agora eu vou adicionar esse recheio de leite ninho quando já estiver frio. E eu só vou fazer isso com o recheio de leite ninho, porque eu vou dividir ele para fazer um outro recheio de flocos. E todos os copos precisam de um recheio mais suave, mais leve, para não ficar muito doce. Agora, com uma parte desse creme, eu vou colocar esse biscoitinho da Selecta que eu comprei pronto. Mas vocês também podem substituir pela bolacha Oreo ou Negresco picadinha. Isso também vai abaixar seu custo e não vai alterar no sabor, vai ficar delicioso. Morangos picadinhos, ouro branco, suspiros e outras coisas que vocês verão no vídeo. E aí tem inúmeras opções para vocês usarem também. Eu vou usar copos de 500 ml, são aqueles de milkshake com tampa. Eu paguei R$15 em 10 unidades. No meu primeiro copo eu vou colocar o creme de ninho por baixo. Agora, bolo de chocolate, pode ser qualquer bolo, eu cortei em cubinhos. Pode ser brownie também, mas nesse caso vai subir seu custo. Agora eu vou colocar o brigadeiro de laca. Sejam generosos, gente, sem miséria nessas camadas. Moranguinhos. O brigadeiro de chocolate. Vejam o brilho desses recheios, gente, a cremosidade, o ponto certinho para usar com bico. Mais um pouquinho de creme de ninho. Por cima eu vou colocar uma ganache de chocolate e a decoração fica a seu gosto. Eu vou colocar um pedacinho de Kinder Bueno com um morango. O nome faz jus, né, gente? Copo da felicidade. Olha que delícia. Vamos para o nosso segundo copo. Esse será...
This loved month, are you on the road to forever? With who good feels? Or crazy in love? Say it, Beth.
Com recheio de flocos, óleo, brigadeiro de chocolate, creme de ninho, o de flocos de novo, por último, e o brigadeiro de lac. Então acompanhe aí para vocês verem essa delícia. Na decoração, uma colherzinha de ganache. Eu não quero que tampe esse lindo brigadeiro branco. E uma bolacha para enfeitar. Perfeito, né, gente?
Alright. Alright guys, let's see this. Oh guys, I don't know kung naiintindihan niyo yung sinasabi niya. Importante na napapanood naman ninyo yung ano niya. Kahit ako hindi ko naiintindihan yung sinasabi. I'm sorry about that one, guys. Pero gusto ko lang ipakita sa inyo na it doesn't need a expensive glass. Pwede kayong gumamit yung mga disposable na cups na yon. Actually, pwede mong gamitin yung mga disposable cups na yun. Like for example, if you have some special occasions or birthday sa bahay ninyo, pwede nyong gamitin yun. Para at least like for example, for take-out, kanyan, hindi niya ninyo puproblemahin pa yung mga glasses ninyo. Alright? Just a minute guys, waiting for... Babasahin ko lang yung mga ibang chat ninyo. Hindi ko nakikita dito. Why I can't read here? Hindi ko nakikita dito yung chat ninyo. So I need to open other account, guys. No, Chester. I don't think so. I never been tried na gamitin ng Burr Brand. Pero, ang Burr Brand kasi once na nag-add ka ng liquid, nagiging liquid siya. Instead, ang Burr Brand powder is inaabsorb niya yung liquid. Ang liquid, instead of ang Burr Brand powder is inaabsorb niya sana ang liquid para tumaas ang consistency nito. Ang nangyayari is, inaabsorb siya ng water or ng liquid. Kaya pag masdan ninyo, kapag naglagay ka ng gatas, gatas na powder sa champurade, makikita mo nagme-melt siya. So hindi siya advisable na maging replacement as whipping cream ninyo. Nestle cream lang talaga ang pwede mong, for my own experience and expertise, no, ang pwede mo lang i-replace for heavy cream is whipping cream. Nestle cream. Ang pwede mo lang i-replace for whipping cream or Nestle cream. Pero meron akong nakikita sa mga baking store na powder na whipping cream. All you need to do is to put some liquid or cold water or cold milk. Parang ganun siya. Pero hindi ko sila kasi masyadong natatry or ginagamit. I prepared pa rin doon sa original na texture. Pero karamihan doon sa mga nagtitinda ng mga fake na mga shakes, ganyan. Ang ginagamit nila na whipping cream is yung fake. Powder siya na nilalagyan ng tubig or cold water or cold milk and then wini-whip nila. Pero kailangan mo ng hand mixer doon para mabuo siya. Parang ganun siya. Possible po ba gumamit ng Burr Brand as an alternative as I don't think so na po pwede siya. Yun lang ang masasabi ko doon na Chester, no. kasi I never been tried. Sa pagkakaalam ko, ang Burr brand, instead na ina-absorb niya yung mga inahalo mong ingredients, ang nangyayari is kabaligtaran. Yung mga ingredients, ina-absorb niya yung Burr brand powder. Yung full cream milk, hindi pa rin siya. Ang ibig lang sabihin, iba-iba kasi ang like for examples, ang full cream milk is a family ng fresh milk. Pag sinabi mong non-fats, ibig sabihin mababa ang fats content niya. Then kapag mababa ang sugar content niya, pag ganyan. Pag full cream milk, ibig sabihin marami ang fats content niya, marami ang sugar contents niya. Pero, depende kasi kung anong klaseng full cream milk ang sinasabi mo. Full cream milk siya na whipping cream or full cream milk siya na fresh milk. So, iba-iba kasi yan. Ngayon, kung heavy cream siya, pwede siya. So, pero ang pinakamura na alam ko is Nestle cream. Kasi I tried this before several times and it works. Ang kailangan lang ninyong gawin is i-follow yung instructions ko. Na ilagay sa chiller yung Nestle cream, ilagay sa freezer yung mixing bowl, and then maglagay pa ng isang mas malaking mixing bowl, and then yellow, and then follow mo lang yung mga instructions na sinabi ko. Ang importante kasi habang wini-whisk mo using your hands or hand mixer, ang importante is na-maintain mo yung consistency ng coldness ng whipping cream, ng Nestle cream. Sir, pwede po bang picturean na lang po yung documentations? Sheena, hindi mo ba siya pwedeng gawing kahit short video? Same doon sa pagkakagawa mo ng cupcakes? Actually, kung ang problema mo is yung ang problema mo is yung isang gadget ka lang, pwede naman yun, Sheena. Pwede naman. Pwede kang umalis sa akin sa YouTube ko while making your short video. Hindi, like for example, Sheena, ha, magre-ready ka na. So, habang nagre-ready ka, you are watching my YouTube live. And then after that, kapag magti-take ka na ng video mo, pwede kang umalis saglit. And then after that, pwede ka ulit bumalik sa akin. Or you may borrow your cell phone ng nanay mo for the documentations or ng kapatid mo. I'm sure meron naman mga cellphone yung ibang kapatid mo for a very short period of time lang. Parang gano'n naman. Kasi parang ang nangyayari nito, or yung ibang cellphone is pwede mo lang siyang Sheena, pwede mo lang siyang i-drag. Then, punta ka dun sa video mo. And then after that, pwede mo lang ibalik ulit yung ganito. I don't know how to call it. Kunwari, nagvi-video ka. Kunwari, nagtitake ka ng video sa cellphone. Ayan. I'm sorry. Kunwari, nagtitake ako ng video dito sa cellphone ko. So, pwede kong gawin ngayon is, kung magre-record ako, kailangan, ko lang, anong tawag dito guys? I-minimize mo lang siya. So, hindi ako aalis, pero nasa main screen ako. And then, bubuksan ko ulit yung YouTube live ko. O, buksan mo yung YouTube live mo. And then, after that, i-search mo lang siya ulit dito sa inbox mo. I don't know kung nakikita siya. I-search mo lang ulit sa inbox mo, makikita mo yung mga apps na nakabukas sa'yo. And then, buksan mo lang ulit. So, nasa YouTube live ka na ulit. And then, kung magre-record ka ulit, i-minimize mo lang siya ulit. And then, i-choose mo lang ulit yung YouTube live para manood ka ng YouTube live. Ganun. So, hindi ka umalis sa YouTube live ko, hindi ka rin hindi ka rin na-disturb doon sa pag-record mo ng video. Actually, 3 to 5 minutes. 5 minutes is mahaba na siya. Maximum of 3 minutes is good enough. Para hindi na masyadong mahaba din yung time ng pag-i-edit ninyo. Actually, yan ang laging nagiging problema is one gadget. Pero nakakalimutan natin na po pwede mong i-minimize or i-maximize yung mga apps na ginagamit mo. And then after that, pag gusto mong buksan, i-open mo lang yung square sa ilalim and then pipiliin mo lang kung ano yung apps na nakabukas sa'yo. Ayan, kagaya nito. Kunwari, eto siya. O, pipang to. Or, i-maximize mo ulit, pipindutin mo lang yung kung ano yung susunod na apps na gusto mong buksan. Ayan. So, ibang apps naman siya. I'm sorry, hindi yata nakikita. So, ibang apps naman ang nakabukas siya. Alright? Again, guys, waiting for some questions na po pwede ninyong itanong so that kapag na-encounter nyo siya, ma-avoid ninyo silang bilhin. So, I'm waiting for some questions, guys. Ilang minutes po ba yung video, sir? 3 minutes, actually maximum of 3 minutes, I think. Mas matagal na yon para hindi na lang masyadong mahaba yung pag-i-edit ninyo. Alright?
Okay, for more questions, guys. Ilang minutes po ba? Sir, pwede po bang mag-tapping sa taas yung mga parang small berries? Yes! Yes, pwede. But berries is very expensive, guys, ha? Maliban na lang kung meron kayo sa bahay. Dito sa kapitbahay namin, sir, maliliit parang ubas. Yes, anong tawag doon? Actually, meron din kami dito sa bahay. Yung mulberry. Mulberry. I don't think so kung pares yung nasa isip natin. It's mulberry. Pwede naman yun, guys. Actually, merong mulberry na kulay red, merong mulberry na parang kulay itim. So, ang ganda nun na combinations. Yes, it's yes, Gary. Sobrang ganda nun. Actually, pwede kayong mag-toppings ng pineapple or pwede kayong mag-toppings ng orange. Ang orange naman is pwede mo siyang balatan and then tanggalin mo yung pinaka. Pag nabalatan mo na siya, then kuha ka ng isang butil and then tanggalin mo yung pinaka-skin na nakabalot doon sa isang butil ng orange and then pwede mo siyang i-toppings doon. Yes, Gary, you may ask favor and ask for something, some piece of nung mga mulberry nila. Pwede yon. 100% pwede siya. And it's perfect for, yun nga lang, ang gagawin mo ngayon is mas maliliit na dessert. Maliliit lang, parang nasa shot glass lang kasi sobrang liit nung mga mulberry. So, kung gagawa ka ng isang baso na malaki, masyadong marami ang mulberry na gagamitin mo. So, all you need to do is gagawa ka ng mga maliliit na nasa shot glass. Parang ganun siya. Saresa, I think pwede naman siya. Pwede naman ang saresa. So, nasa inyo kung paano niyo siya i-upgrade or papagandahin. Pwede naman ang saresa. At this very moment, guys, walang ingredients na hindi pwede. Ang importante is nag-excel tayo. Alam mo yan? So, pwede naman ang saresa. For me, it's not, walang no na ingredients. Basta makakain mo siya and then makakatulong siya at makakabawas doon sa ingredients mo, why not? Or better, gumawa kayo ng mga maliliit lang para mas lessen yung expenses ninyo compared doon sa mga glasses na malalaki. I think yun ang pinaka best na solution na po pwede kong ma-suggest sa inyo, guys.
Okay guys, don't forget to like naman yung ating YouTube live. Ang daming nanonood pero ilan lang ang naka-like. Please, favor, don't forget to like. Okay, ito naman is ano siya? Let's watch for this one also.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire, messages that forge brighter connections, and emails that get the job done, you need to think about more than just grammar and spelling. This sentence is grammatically correct, but it's wordy and hard to read.
Let's watch for this one.
enjoy the LCs.
Okay guys, while watching our videos tutorial, for our second attendance, kindly please chat present for our second attendance, guys. All right, thank you. Okay guys, if you have more questions, please let me know habang meron pa tayong oras so that I can answer. So again guys, yung Yung gagawin natin for next Monday is cream and mousses or mousse. So, depende sa inyo kung anong klaseng mga mousses ang gagawin ninyo. Katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina, nagsabi, Sir, pwede po bang saresa? Why not saresa? If you can make it more beautiful and glamorous dun sa glass, no? Bakit hindi? Tulad na nabanggit ko, guys, no more discriminations about the ingredients. Ang importante is we are producing something at this very moment. No? And watch ninyo yung mga colors ninyo, guys. This one, guys, papanood ko sa inyo is ang mismong baso niya is made up chocolate. So chocolate din yung mismong glass niya.
Hey guys, it's Elise. Welcome back to My Cupcake Addiction. Today I'm going to be showing you my sneaky 2-ingredient chocolate mousse. This is the recipe that I use when I know I've got people coming for dinner and I've been way too busy to come up with anything fancy to make, but I still want them to feel like I've gone to trouble. The 2 ingredients that you're going to need: dark chocolate and whipping cream. Because I also want to show you guys just a couple of different ways that you can decorate, I've got some raspberries and some mint and also a little bit of melted white chocolate. To make some little edible bowls, I've got a little Sophia mold. You can also use something like a cake pop container to mold some little half circles, and I'm just going to show you some cool patterns. And I'm also going to show you how to make some really, really easy little chocolate flourishes using just some little cut pieces of a cardboard cylinder and some baking paper. Let's get started. The first thing that you're going to want to do, I've separated my whipping cream into 2 portions. There's 150 mils in there, and the remaining 450 mils are in the large container. I'm going to take the smaller container, pour it over my dark chocolate, and we're going to pop that off into the microwave on 30-second intervals until we've made essentially a chocolate ganache. So 30 seconds, stir, 30 seconds, stir, and mine only took 1 minute. You want that to be lovely and smooth, like a little chocolate river, no grains and no chunks of unmelted chocolate. You need to let that now sit until it's a little bit cooler, because we can't put that into our cream until it's not hot anymore. While we're waiting for that to set, I promised I'd show you how to make some really fun little edible bowls. So I've got my little circle molds, and I'm going to take just a little bit of my white chocolate, and then I'm going to come above the mold, and I'm just going to dribble and shake around. You'll notice I'm not using whole teaspoons. I'm really just dipping the spoon in the chocolate. If you put too much chocolate on there, you get like a big kind of a lump of chocolate in the bottom of the mold. It's just not as pretty. Before I let that one set, I'm just going to take a knife and I'm just going to run it along the top. And that's really just so that I don't have any ridgy edges on my finished bowls. I want them to be nice and smooth so they don't crack when they come out of the mold. Pop them off into the fridge to set, and we're going to fill them with chocolate to make them like a multicolour bowl. While those ones are setting, we're going to create a couple of just really simple swooshes. So I'm just going to take a little, not even a half a teaspoon of that white chocolate, place a little blob down, and I'll do another little blob, might as well make 2. And then I'm going to run the back of my spoon through my little swoosh on a little bit of an angle. And then I'm just going to take one of my little cardboard tubes and pop it inside. They're going to dry like that. When they set, you've got a really nice little over-the-top chocolate decoration. I like to make those using dark and milk and white chocolate, and sometimes I even marble them. They're super simple. These little guys here do not take long at all to set. They were literally in the fridge for about 2 minutes, but that's really, really thin, fine chocolate. So I'm going to take a bit more of my dark chocolate. I'm going to put about a tablespoon or so in there, and then I'm just going to quickly swipe it up the edges. You want to make sure that your chocolate isn't too hot here, or else it's going to melt that white chocolate underneath. So just have a feel of it. You want it melted, but you don't want it to be super, super hot. Similar to with your white chocolate, I'm just going to run my knife along the top just to make sure we're as nice and smooth as we can be. And then they can go off into the fridge to set. You must set these in the fridge, because when you put them in the fridge, the instant cool is going to shock that chocolate and it's going to help it to contract away from the outsides of your mold. With our garnishes and our bowls all setting nicely, it's time to move back to the mousse. I'm happy that my ganache is slightly warm to touch, but it's definitely not hot anymore. So I'm going to put my whipping cream into my mixer. With this cream, I'm looking for a semi-whip. So I want it to be firm enough that it's starting to hold its own shape, but I definitely don't want to whip it all the way, because when I fold through this additional mixture, it's going to continue to whip it, and I definitely don't want over-whipped mousse. All right, I've got a semi-whipped consistency so that you can see what that looks like. Basically, if I lift up that cream and let it slide. It should slide straight off the spoon. The beaters are just starting to leave a little mark in the actual cream itself, but they're certainly not holding it to stiff peaks. I'm going to pop the mixer back down, and I'm going to turn it onto a very low speed and then slowly drizzle in my ganache mixture. So I've whipped that until the beaters are leaving a mark in the cream. So it should just look like brown whipped cream. That is your 2-ingredient chocolate mousse. You need to keep that chilled until we're ready to pipe it into our little containers. So I'm going to pop the whole bowl off into the fridge. With your mousse in the fridge and your little bowls set, and these are nice and thin, so they shouldn't take you too long to set, they're just going to hopefully pop right out of that little mold. Look how easily they slide out. They're beautiful and shiny, and they're a lovely little two-tone color. So I'm going to show you how to build them into these very, very simple kind of elevated goblet dessert cups. Of course, you could just use them as little bowls if you wanted to, but I always like to take things just that little bit further. I'm going to use one of my larger bowls and one of my teeny little mini bowls, and I've also got a little bit more of that melted chocolate. Try not to touch them on the outsides too much because they will melt, but you'll also put fingerprints on them. But I'm just going to take the very, very tip here, and I'm going to dip it into some of that chocolate and lift it up, kind of shake off any excess. And then, because I know they're nice and cold, I want to work quite quickly. Grab my top bowl, rest it on top, making sure that it's centered, and then just balance it there gently until it gets a little bit tacky, which shouldn't take long because both parts should be relatively cold. Look at that, teeny tiny little elevated edible bowls. I'm going to grab my mousse out of the fridge. I've popped it into a piping bag just to give me a little bit more neatness. I'm just going to snip a bit off the end, and it's kind of going to make its own little piping tip. And then I'm just going to use it to just pipe a nice little amount of my delicious, smooth, silky chocolate mousse into each of our little containers. I like to come right out to the edges and then kind of bring them just a little bit higher. Perfect. Now to garnish, I'm just going to take either a white or a chocolate or both flourishes. I'm going to pop them straight down on top, and then I'm going to pop a fresh raspberry and a little sprig of mint for color. 2 ingredients, so incredibly easy, plus those extra ingredients for garnishing. You guys can decide how complex or how easy you want these. They also look fantastic, served in little martini glasses or little dessert cups. And that is how you make it look like you've spent all day in the kitchen preparing for people to come around, when in fact we've made these in less than 30 minutes. I hope you guys have learned my secret trick to a really simple and quick 2-ingredient chocolate mousse. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do for 2 new videos every week. And as always, thanks very much for tuning in.
Yan guys, hindi na siya gumamit ng baso. Instead, gumawa siya ng sarili niyang baso. This one is actually Ferrero ang ginamit nito. Ferrero let's watch this. Ferrero
You have no
Rocher.
idea what it is to have one's entire...
Let's watch this one, guys. Again, guys, if you have some questions, please let me know para masagot natin siya. Para kapag hindi
Hey
mo
guys,
struggle
it's
para
Elise
sa
and welcome back to My Cupcake Addiction. Today we're making Ferrero Rocher dessert bowls. These are unbelievably easy, but they're an amazing dessert to serve to your guests. Let's get started. The things you're going to need, and I'm going to leave everything you need on the My Cupcake Addiction website. So head over there for all of your quantities, and you can also print the recipe out. But today you're going to need some crushed nuts. You'll need some Nutella. I like to call it the magic ingredient. We've got some melted chocolate. I'm going to go with dark chocolate today because we're going to be making some little balloon bowls, and the dark chocolate's a lot easier to work with, a little bit more forgiving, and it actually melts a little bit easier. Make sure that one's a compound chocolate. I've got a little bit of whipping cream. That's a 35% milk fat cream. So you're going to need something that's going to be able to whip up nice and light and fluffy. And I've also got some Ferrero Rochers. You'll need some little water balloons. So they're like tiny, tiny little balloons to make our nice small-sized balloon balls today. First thing you want to do, you want to blow up one of those balloons. That one was pretty easy, but sometimes they're really hard. Perfect. I'm going to do 4 of these today, but obviously you can double the recipe, triple the recipe, whatever you like, depending on how many people you've got coming over for dessert. Once you tell them you're serving these, I reckon you might need a few more than 4. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our balloon bowls. So that's as simple as taking a balloon and we're going to dip it into our little bowl of melted chocolate. I always like to make sure my chocolate's really nice and flat, so I get a relatively smooth line. Dip it in, give it a little turn. Now, it's a very fine balance here with your chocolate. You don't want it to be too hot, which can be tricky when you've just melted it. It needs to be sort of room temperature. Over my little tray over here, I'm going to tip my balloon bowl upside down, and I'm going to sprinkle it with some nuts. This is going to make it look like a Ferrero shirt or Rocher, depending on where you live. Then I'm just going to take another spoon of that chocolate and I'm just going to pop it down on the sheet. Don't worry if there's a few nuts in there. It'll be totally fine. This is just going to make a little foot and down goes our balloon bowl. And you want to work quickly here because if these little suckers are going to pop on you, it's going to be when that chocolate starts to cool. So we want to get them in the freezer setting as quickly as we can. If you've never had one of these explode on you before, try to not let it happen. It's one of the messiest and kind of scariest things ever. Just takes you by surprise. Perfect. Now I'm going to get the 4 of those straight in the freezer as quick as I can because I don't want that chocolate to start contracting and pop my balloons before it's too late. All right, so while your balloon bowls are setting, we're going to take some of our Nutella and I'm going to put half of it into a Ziploc bag. Don't forget your quantities are on the website, but you can adjust these quantities. So I used about a tablespoon of Nutella for each 100 milliliters of cream, and you can just adjust it depending on how many people are coming and how many bowls you think they're going to eat. Pop that one off to the side. We don't need that one till a little bit later. And then you want to lift your mixer, and we're going to put the rest of the Nutella straight into the mixing bowl. This is effectively a 2-ingredient Nutella mousse. So for that, you guys are welcome. All right, down goes the mixer, and I'm going to turn that on just to start mixing the Nutella through, and then we're going to add in the cream. Yum. With this one, it's particularly important that you do scrape the bottoms of your bowl because the Nutella has a bit of a habit of settling down there, and you kind of want that Nutella dispersed all the way through your mousse, not sitting on the bottom of a bowl somewhere. What you're looking to do here is you're looking to whip the cream, but you don't want to over whip it. So you'll know it's done when you start to get sort of like peaks forming. So when the whisk or the beater leaves its own marks in your mousse, that's when you'll know it's done. You don't want to take it too far here because you really don't want to over whip it and separate that cream. Perfect. So that right there, that is just about perfect. It's leaving its own little marks and kind of standing up by itself, just like proper whipped cream. All right, so coming back from the freezer, these guys have only taken like 10 minutes to set and none of them have popped because I got them into the freezer so quickly. So to get your balloon bowls extracted from the balloons, I always like to just pull them slightly away at the edges before I pop the balloon. I want to make sure no balloon gets left on the inside of that chocolate. Once I'm happy that I've pulled away the edges, the fun part, unleash your inner child. And then just peel away any of that balloon membrane or that balloon skin. Perfect. One gorgeous little balloon bowl that looks remarkably like a Ferrero Rocher. So my top tips for perfect balloon bowls is using those water balloons and not actual balloons, making sure that your chocolate's melted but not hot. And if you need to thin it out a little bit, you can do that using some coconut oil or a little bit of Crisco or Copa, but don't thin it out too much and getting them into the freezer as quickly as you can because that makes the world of difference. All right, so now it's just time to scoop in some of our Nutella mousse. Your Nutella mousse is going to get a little bit softer the warmer it gets, so try to keep it as nice and cold as you can, but don't worry too much. It will firm up when you pop them back in the fridge. Whatever happens, don't forget the #1 rule. No Nutella mousse must go to waste. If that means you got to eat Nutella mousse at the end of this, sorry. So with those ones, just level them off as best as you can, but don't go too crazy. Don't be rough. Don't go knocking around the board or anything that they're on because you want to treat those shells really nice and carefully. They're pretty fine and they're pretty delicate. So now for our Nutella in that Ziploc bag, you just want to trim off a nice little corner. And it doesn't have to be too fine here. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit messy, but a little bit fun. So I'm just going to just basically let some of that Nutella just drizzle over the top. You don't really want it going over the sides of those bowls if you can avoid it. And then finally, in goes a Ferrero Rocher just to top it off. So all you need to do with those now is pop them back off into the fridge for about an hour or so before you want to serve them because that's going to really firm up that mousse and they're going to set beautifully. Give those to your guests with nothing more than a spoon. This is the ultimate dessert. You can even eat the bowl. If you guys know someone that loves Ferreros or Nutella or nuts or dessert, make sure you give this video a share and a like. Subscribe to My Cupcake Addiction for 2 new videos every week. And as always, guys, thank you.
Okay guys, yun yung mga iba-ibang possible na po pwede ninyong gamitin or po pwede ninyong ma-encounter.
lahat yan is possible na pwede ninyong gamitin, guys. So again, hindi ko nababasa yung mga ibang comment niyo. Again, guys, if you have some comments or suggestions, pwede naman kayong mag-suggest. So habang nandito pa tayo at meron tayong oras so that I can answer your questions. Justin, pinaka-last ko is Justin. Actually, hindi ko nababasa yung ano dito. I need to open a new account. I mean a new tab para dito. Alright, let me check it first. Any questions yan? Just a minute, guys. Hindi ko nababasa yung mga chat ninyo. I think baka meron kayong questions. Alright, si Justin. Okay, guys. If you have more questions, please let me know about sa chocolate cream and mousses. So, katulad ng nabanggit ko, yun lang yung mga possible na po pwede natin magamit. Or like for example, if you want, you can share together with your classmate. Kung malapit lang yung mga bahay ng mga classmate niyo. And then, pwede yung paghati-hatiin yung heavy cream. Kung mas makakamura kayo dun sa heavy cream, pwede rin naman. Or, pwede kayong magpasuyo sa mga parents niyo or sa mga kapatid ninyong namamalengke. Just sa mga baking store, magtanong kayo ng whipping cream na powder. And then all you need to do is to put some liquid para doon. Basahin lang ng mabuti yung instructions. Normally ako, kapag naglalagay ng mga water doon sa mga powder ingredients na ganyan, like for example, for every cup na powder, is maglalagay ka rin ng isang cup na liquid, parang ganun. Ako guys, ang ginagawa ko, hindi ako nag-1:1. 1:1 ang tawag doon. Isang cup na powder, isang cup na liquid, parang ganun. Ako hindi ako nag-1:1. So, ang ginagawa ko is 1 cup na powder and then a half cup na liquid lang. Kasi normally, nagiging masyado siyang malambot at bumabagsak yung texture ng mga ganyang whipping cream. Anyway, you can add more water if you want after na makita mo yung ano. Kasi kapag nag-add ka na ng maraming tubig, ang nangyayari nito, hindi mo na siya ma-adjust. Pero if you add a little bit less water, pwede kang magdagdag if needed. Parang ganun siya. So yun lang yung mga possible na po pwede kong ma-share as of now. Nestle cream, pwede natin siyang gamitin. Replacement for heavy cream or whipping cream. And then meron akong nakita before guys na I forgot the name. Pero whipping cream siya. And then whipping cream parang nasa 100 plus lang siya. Kulay white and kulay blue ang pangalan ang lalagyan niya. Nabili ko yan sa may Pilipinas, sa may Angeles, yung baking store na Pilipinas. Nasa 100 plus lang ata yung 1,000 grams nila na or 1 kilo na whipping cream. Ang kailangan lang nito guys is meron kang hand mixer para mag-whip siya. Or wire whisk pero matagal. And then instead of regular sugar ang ilalagay mo, pwede mo naman siyang lagyan ng powdered sugar. I forgot the name pero parang nag-start siya sa letter B ang pangalan niya, whipping cream. Tas kulay white and then kulay blue yung pangalan niya. Nakita ko yan. Ang kagandahan nun is no fats whipping cream siya. No fats whipping cream. So mag-a-add ka na lang ng asukal. Parang ganun siya. Alright? Any more questions guys habang naghihintay tayo ng oras? So habang nanonood tayo ng mga videos, pwede kayong magtanong. And then kung ano yung mga possible na pwedeng gamitin, pwede rin naman. Para at least malesen ninyo yung mga pag-iisip ninyo. Katulad ng nabanggit ko kanina guys, pwede kayong gumamit ng iba-ibang ingredients na makikita mo lang sa bahay. All you need to do is more
mag-experiment ka or mag-explore ka. Parang ganun. Alright, let me find some other mga designs naman. Mga mousse. This one is very plain, white chocolate mousse. Very plain siya, guys.
Hey guys, Christmas will be here in a matter of days. And if you are still trying to figure out what to serve for dessert for Christmas dinner, I have got just the thing for you. It's my Winter Wonderland white chocolate mousse. They are simple, they are elegant, and they look so Christmassy. So here's my philosophy when it comes to Christmas dinner dessert. By the time you get to serve it, you have created Christmas Eve dinner, Christmas breakfast, Christmas dinner. By the time you get to the dessert, you're pretty wiped out. So you need something really easy and simple. At least I do. And this is what I'm going to be serving for my Christmas dinner dessert. So we're first going to begin by melting some white chocolate. All you want to do is just break it into pieces and put it in a large microwave-safe bowl. This is the easiest way to do it. Now, if you don't have a microwave, you could use a double boiler. That would work too. I just love to melt it in the microwave because it's so quick and easy, and one less dish you have to wash. Now, one tip when it comes to the white chocolate. It is a lot sweeter than regular chocolate, so if you have the choice between the white chocolate bars or the white chocolate chips, go with the bars because they tend to be a little less sweet. I think because they're typically used for baking, where the chips maybe people are putting in cookies and need the extra sweetness, but if you have a choice, go for the bars. It works a little bit better for this recipe. Now, the next step of the process is to add our egg yolks. Most mousse recipes out there, at least the traditional ones, will use raw eggs. Now, I know that there are health risks associated with using raw eggs, especially the egg yolks, because they tend to be the most susceptible to bacteria. So I don't take any chances when it comes to the yolks. I like to use the egg product. It works just as well, and the nice thing is it's already pasteurized. So the pasteurization process heats the egg to such a degree that it kills the bacteria. So I just feel like it's a safer way to go. So you're going to go ahead and add about a half a cup of the egg product. Give it a good whisk, and you'll see it'll start to become a nice smooth mixture. Now the next thing we're going to add is a little bit of cognac. Now if you don't drink, you could definitely leave it out. It'll still be just as good. But here we're a French-American family, so it wouldn't be a mousse without a little bit of cognac. So we go ahead and add about a tablespoon. You're going to mix that together just until it's nice and smooth. And then you can go ahead and set that mixture aside. And at this point, I do use the raw egg whites. Only because, from what I have read, it tends to be the egg yolk that has the most bacteria and where the risk really is for salmonella. So I do kind of take the chance and do use the egg white, but I do make sure of a couple of things. One, that I'm using very fresh eggs, that they're organic, and that they don't have cracks or any kind of compromised eggshell. Because if your eggshell has been cracked, then bacteria can get in and obviously taint your egg. So if those things are kind of covered off on, and you're not serving this to any children or pregnant women or people who might have compromised immune systems, then I think you should be okay. So we're gonna heat our egg whites up just until they get nice and fluffy and stiff. You're really looking for a nice stiff peak because adding the egg whites is what is going to lighten our mousse and give it its wonderful, delicious texture. When your egg whites are done, you're going to go ahead and go back to your chocolate egg mixture. And you're going to add the egg whites in thirds. You don't want to dump the whole thing in. We want to do it in stages so that we can continue to create the light, fluffy mixture. Because now you've got this very thick chocolate egg mixture, we need to lighten it up with these egg whites. So a little at a time, you add your egg white, fold it in, and you'll see each time you add more egg whites, your chocolate mixture becomes lighter and fluffier. That's what we're after. Once you've added all your egg whites, you want to clean out the bowl of your mixer and your whisk. Make sure that they're nice and dry. And then add 2 cups of heavy cream, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a tablespoon of powdered sugar. Beat that up just until you get nice stiff peaks. Then when your whipped cream is done, you're going to take a third of the mixture, transfer it to a pastry bag fitted with a round tip. I like the round tip because I find that it makes a really fun little mound on top of the mousse when it's done, and it looks kind of like a little mound of snow. Then, we're not going to use this whipped cream right away because it's for our garnish. So one of the things that I like to do is take my gravy boat and prop up my pastry bag. It seems to work really well to just kind of keep it upright, but you also could use a coffee mug or a little Pyrex pitcher, anything to kind of keep that pastry bag upright while you prep the rest of the ingredients. Then you're going to take the remaining whipped cream and we're going to fold it into our new chocolate egg white mixture. You're going to do basically the same thing, a little bit at a time, lightening that mixture as you go. Once you add all of your whipped cream, you will see you'll start to have this beautiful, voluminous white chocolate mousse mixture. Now, you might be thinking this doesn't look like it has the consistency of a mousse, and it doesn't yet. That's where the refrigeration will come in. So we are going to refrigerate these for at least 4 hours, if not overnight. If you have it, it's better because that's what's going to help the mousse set up and actually turn into a mousse-like texture. Now, when it comes to finding the right vessel for your mousse, here are a few suggestions. I love to use my grandmother's vintage champagne glasses because I rarely have the opportunity to use them, and I think they're so beautiful and so festive, and they just make me think of her every time around the holidays when I want to do something kind of fancy schmancy. You could also use a martini glass, a wine glass, a margarita glass, or even a little teacup could be fun too. Then we're going to take our mousse mixture and pour it into a large Pyrex pitcher. This is going to help transfer the mousse into our glasses. You're going to want to pour about a half a cup for each person. And then if you get any drips on the side, now is the time to go in with a paper towel and just rub them clean. Because as the mousse sets, if it has little drips here and there, it'll actually set with it, and it'll be harder to clean once they're set. Okay, now for the fun part, the garnishes. So to create our winter wonderland look, what we're going to do is take some fresh sprigs of rosemary. We're going to snip off about 1.5 inches off the top. We want to use the top because that's where the plant actually blooms out, and it just looks a little bit more elegant than if you use somewhere in the middle or the end. You can save the rest of the rosemary that you haven't used. In fact, if you're making my Christmas dinner, you can use the rosemary for your fillet of meat. If you haven't seen that episode, go ahead, click the annotation, and you can find it there. Then we're going to get out a bowl that's filled with water and another bowl filled with some white granulated sugar. Dip your rosemary top into the water and then dip it into the sugar. Cover all that rosemary with a little bit of sugar, give it a little shake, and you'll see you'll have a frosted looking piece of evergreen. Then in a little bowl, we're going to add some gold sprinkles, and now it's time to decorate. You're going to take your pastry bag and create a nice little mound of whipped cream, then dust it with a little bit of the gold sprinkles, and then tuck your rosemary sprig into the side of the cream. And you will see you will have one cute little dessert that just screams Christmas. And here is the best part. You are going to pop these in the fridge, garnish and all. It doesn't hurt the garnish one bit. I tried it because I really didn't believe it. I thought maybe that sugar would melt or something would happen. It actually gets better. There's something about the cold of the refrigerator and that crystallized sugar. It just keeps it right in place and makes it so easy. Then when it comes time to serve, you can either serve as is, or what I like to do is place each glass on a dessert plate and serve it with a store-bought shortbread cookie. And you will see, your guests will be so charmed by this little dessert. It's so Christmassy, it's so festive, it is so delicious. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. And I hope everybody out there has a very Merry Christmas. And I will see you back here next week for when we are going to tackle New Year's Eve. I'm going to show you a quick and easy appetizer that'll help you ring in the new year in style. I'll see you then.
This looks different.
It is. Epic high-res photos and 8K video beyond cinema quality.
This is different.
Told you.
Wir dachten, wir könnten für immer in Frieden leben. Aber wir lagen falsch.
You will never see them again.
And bye.
Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm gonna say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now you dear old man, whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can.
Alright. Again guys, kung meron kayong mga tanong, pwede kayong magtanong na kung meron pang oras. Kung meron pa rin tayong time. If you want us some questions, pwede rin naman guys. Okay, I'll give you more 5 minutes for your questions, and then kung wala na kayong tanong, I'll set you free for your next subject. Again guys, I'm waiting for your questions. Kung meron kayong mga tanong, pwede naman. Para at least kapag gumawa kayo ng mga, gagawa tayo ng mga chocolate cream and mousses for next week, at least hindi na tayo masyadong mag-struggle. And then at least meron kayong konting advanced knowledge about sa paggawa ng mousses later kapag nag-discuss yung mga current sa inyo. Okay guys, if you have some questions, guys, please. At tulad ng nabanggit ko guys, kung hindi kayo magtatanong, wala na akong ibang i-explain. Kung marami kayong itatanong, mas marami akong i-explain. So it is advantage kung marami tayong mga questions na paglalaroan. Alright? Then while waiting for our time, I'll show you one more video. And then after this, I'll set you free. I don't like mousses na masyadong plain. I love mousses na masyadong playful. Yung, okay, this one is, yung iba naman guys, ang ginagawa nila is, ayan, this one, minomold nila. So this one is overload, I think. Mousses overload. Kindly please watch this one. Then after this, if you have more questions, let me know guys, alright? Sarap!
May mura pala sa Burger King, no?
Burger King King Savers. Eat like a king sa presyong afford.
cough interrupt your precious moment. Take Mucosolvan 24 hours.
I love starting my mornings early, and by early I mean I'm up and about at 4 or 5 a.m., ready to start my day, especially when I have work.
Alright guys, that is for today. Maraming salamat guys. If you have any more questions guys? Alright, times to stay. Goodbye guys. Maraming salamat. See you on Monday. Kindly please keep safe, keep praying na sana matapos na lahat to at maging normal na lahat yung mga buhay-buhay natin. And hoping to see you soon. And again guys, yung mga ingredients, kindly please pasuyo ninyo sa mga magulang ninyo. Huwag mo nang lumabas. And then kung pwede kayong mag-share if you have classmate malapit sa inyo, then share together sa mga ingredients so that mas lessen. Or mas okay kapag meron kayong marirecycle sa bahay. And then try to ask favor doon sa mga magulang ninyo
na bilhin yung mga basic ingredients na. Again, hindi kailangan mahal at hindi kailangan marami ang gagawin. Just only one piece na mousse, it's okay already. Alright guys, keep safe and maraming salamat. See you next week. See you on Monday. Keep praying. And I'm praying also para sa inyo and then sa family ninyo. Sana maging okay na lahat. And again, guys, God bless. In about 5 seconds, I will close the YouTube live so that you can prepare yourselves for your next subject. Again, guys, God bless. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.